Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor.
Welcome back, everyone. We're joined by Bill Monroe Jr. from Bill Monroe Outdoors. We couldn't recommend him higher. If you want to get out there on the water, chase some fish around, look up Bill. We're going to show you his information, of course, and his website. But we're talking about the opener, which is tomorrow, the first of the year, for retention of sturgeon above Bonneville Dam. Now, it is a tremendous fishery, but it is one that can be a little fickle. What's your favorite baits, Bill? What are your go-to baits to get started? Because listen, when you're up there, everyone, your bait repertoire had better be big, because these fish are a little goofy.
Yeah. Boy, you already know. Remember when we used to fish as kids? We used to love our sand shrimp. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember that? Boy, that's still a darn thing. I love my sand shrimp. Sand shrimp is my number one. My number two, at least so far on my pre-fishing days, has been smelt.
Yeah.
Hard to find, hard to get. We didn't get much of an opportunity last year. We got a Sandy River opener when there should have been a Cowlitz opener because they had 5 jillion more fish than the Sandy. But they figured it out that a little too late. But the smelt, number two, I really love it. You know, if the more oily you can make it, the better. Of course, oil is our scent trail, and that's kind of what we love. Those are my mains. I mean, there's an occasional anchovy and herring opportunity, but and squid, so I can't get them to go. They don't work that well for me. At least my sand shrimp and my smelt, number one, number two, for sure.
All right, makes perfect sense. I mean, obviously, I remember when we used to go and dip specifically for the fishery above Bonneville.
That's it.
Because we would go through bags of 24, 30 smelt into a big Ziploc bag. We'd go through 5 or 6 bags a day. You know, I mean, it was crazy. So we had to do that. Okay. So sand shrimp and smelt, two not so easy baits to come across, especially up in Hood River, or at least in that area. So you better prepare if you're going to be heading that direction. Yeah. Okay, so let's say someone's out there, they're watching, they're going to be making their way up there, and they can't find good sand shrimp or smelt. You mentioned squid. Roll mop used to be like one of the go-to baits up there on the entirety of the Columbia River for bank anglers, and it's very accessible. Is that something that you would still recommend? Pickled herring, everyone? Roll mop?
That roll mop herring is still an option. It works real good because it has a really strong scent to it. It's one of the more pungent baits. You know what I mean?
Sure.
As in, it's pungent smell, very, very, very vinegary. And it does work. Yep, and it's easy to find all the stores. What's cool is the Asian marts, H Mart and like Iwo Jimaya in Beaverton, they have that type of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I think. I'm not sure. But the squid thing, I can't get squid to go.
That's crazy.
I don't fish squid that much.
I'm going to give you one of my all-time favorite tips for up above, actually for all over the places. Go find yourself the cheapest Italian dressing, salad dressing, everyone. The cheapest Italian salad dressing you can find. Sometimes you can even buy it at 7-Eleven or Plaid Pantry, for crying out loud. And soak your baits in that. Now take your baits that might be a day old and soak that stuff for days. Don't take it out. He mentioned oily and stinky. For whatever reason, they like Italian stuff. I'm just throwing that out there to you, just a little thing. Okay.
Soak your herring and your smelt in it. That's what I used to do.
Oh, man.
I love it.
It is certainly something that can help. All right, so let's talk locations. I don't want specific spots or GPS locations that you drop in your hook, okay? But let's talk about from Hood River Bridge, upriver, maybe downriver. Are there areas that you would say, start here, or if this happens, go up here? What are your thoughts there? Wind usually comes into play.
There it is right there. The wind. If you've got a westerly against this mild easterly current, your downriver, it's going to suck. It's not going to be fun. You're not going to like it.
No.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to fish, hard to anchor. The kicker's going to be in reverse, all of it. Above Hood River Bridge, though, you just don't get that type of effect. It doesn't affect you very much. So it's kind of nice. I'd say anywhere above the Hood River Bridge, there's some spots, and I'm not going to name exact spots because that's not what I do.
Yeah, please
but
don't.
There are some spots up there, if you can find them between Bingen or all the way up to the Etiquette, that are deep, and they hold fish, and it gets very, very, very crowded. But it's really, really, really effective. Those fish pool up remember, they pool up in these deep spots. That's just where they are. They're not going to be up on the shallow shelf or down in the Hood River Delta like the salmon like to mess around down there in the fall. But they are going to be in the deep water for sure.
Last question I got for you. I'm running out of time, Bill. Like you know, this goes by super fast. Etiquette for folks that are going up there to drop the anchor around people sturgeon fishing in open areas. What's your advice for people when you're talking about just basic etiquette?
Basic etiquette. Keep 100, feet, maybe even 100 yards if you can, from the person in front or behind you. If you want someone fishing on your anchor line, that's probably not a good thing. It's very difficult. If you have to move around during the middle of the morning all the way through the afternoon, that's totally fine. Pull up next to someone, stay high, introduce yourself and say, hey, can I fish next to you? Can I fish 50 feet off of you, but even with you? Or can I fish real close to you if I promise to keep my lines, controlled? That type of stuff. Don't just come in and say, hey, screw you, I'm fishing, 5 feet next to you. That's probably not going to work very well. And we don't want that. I've had problems where people don't like me because I'm not from here. But I spend more and more time here now, and I've gotten to know everybody, and they're actually very, very approachable. And some of the people, all you got to do is just say, hey, can I do this? And if they say no, the worst thing you can do is just kind of go way above them or way below them and keep going on about your business. But 9 times out of 10, they're going to say, heck yeah, dude, come on in, control yourself, keep your distance, learn how to do your anchor just right, and it actually works out really well.
Bill, I know that you're probably booked all the way through this sturgeon fishery, but if there's a way that somebody can get out there with you, what's the best way to, before we cut out here, I got to cut away, but what's the best way for them to get you?
It's all about email and website and Facebook, for sure, yeah.
Bill, good luck. Please be safe up there. We all know what that west wind will do if it pops up on you unexpectedly, so please be careful up there. We love you, man, and have a happy new year, all right? We'll be seeing you soon.
Pray for snow next year, or next week.
Oh, yes, I am, because I want to go duck hunting. You can have the sturgeon fishing.
It's going to happen. All right, bye, Owen.
Take care, buddy. Take it easy. All right, we're going to cut to a quick break. I'm way along here. We'll be back in just a minute. We've got a photo dump of photos throughout the year, and we're going to try to get to Porter's phone call. Don't go anywhere.
Outdoor GPS is brought to you by Terra Firma Foundation Systems. We keep homes safe, dry, and stable. By Yakima Bait, steeped in tradition, innovation, and fishing success. And by Procure Bait Sense, ruthlessly effective.